In this example, we're asked to find the limit at various points based on the function drawn above. So let's look at the first one here. It says, find the limit of f of x as x approaches -1, and then the little minus sign there means from the left. Okay, so -1 would be right there, right? So from the left, that's us going this way. So it looks to me like we're approaching a y value at that point of 7. So from the left, we're approaching 7. Okay, so now if we go the limit as x approaches -1 from the right, so from the right, that's coming around this way. Now, when we actually get to -1, right, the next value of -1, that point isn't right here, right? But it is approaching that point right there. So it's approaching 2. Okay, if we keep going, the limit as x approaches just -1. Well, what can we say? Well, it's approaching one number from that direction, and it's approaching another number from that direction. So we just have to say it does not exist. So D and E doesn't exist. Okay. Now, f of -1, so that's just when x is -1, what is y? Well, in this case, it's going to be the solid point there, so it would be 7. All right, let's keep going. So now, the limit as x approaches 3 from the left. So if we're looking at 3, so from the left, I'm getting ever so close to -6. Right? That's my y value is getting closer and closer and closer and closer to -6. And then it is, so we're going to be at -6. Okay, same question, but from the right, looks to me like we're approaching -6 again. All right, so -6. So now it just says, what's the limit as x approaches just 3 of f of x? Well, it approached -6 from the left and it approached -6 from the right, so that is the limit. What is f of 3? Well, f of 3 was also -6. Okay, so now let's move on to the last one. So now, as x approaches 6 from the left, all right, so as it approaches 6 from the left, we're getting closer and closer to a y value of 7. All right, so now as we approach 6 from the right, so as we're going from the right, we're actually at 7 already, but you could say we're approaching 7 as well, right? So we're getting closer and closer to 7. So that's also 7. So what is the limit as f of x approaches just 6 in general? It approaches 7 from the left, it approaches 7 from the right, so it approaches 7. But then in the next part here, f of 6, well, f of 6 isn't this point. There's a hole there. So f of 6 is actually going to be at a y value of 1. All right, so the limit it isn't necessarily going to be the same thing as the value at that point.